Welcome back to another Premier League predictions video. This is for week 13 of the Premier League, and last week, the league was an absolute disgrace. Defending is at an all-time low, so some teams need to fix up and do better. First game up is Arsenal and Newcastle. This is a massive game for both sides. Both sides have to win this game. For Arsenal, they were heavily beaten by Liverpool last week, 4-0, so their confidence will be low. And some people said that this was a free hit for Arsenal, which doesn't make much sense because you want to win every game in the Premier League, so that's just silly. And for Newcastle, they drew 3-3 at home to Brentford, which wasn't the best result because Brentford were on a shocking run of form. So that was the perfect opportunity for Newcastle to get a win. And to get their first win of the season. That's right. Newcastle are yet to win a Newcastle are yet to win a league game this season. Absolutely ridiculous. But going to this one, this will be a tough game. Either side could win it. I think it'll be a 2-1 win to Arsenal. Next game up is Norwich and Wolves. This is another tough game for both sides. Norwich have been in decent form recently, winning their last two games, something they failed to do for a large part of this season. And for Wolves, they're having a very good season after having a shocking start. They're scoring goals and they're somewhat solid defensively. This will be a tough game. Either side could win it. I think it'll be a 2-1 win to Norwich. Next game up is Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. This is another tough game to call. Crystal Palace are Crystal Palace are having a very good season under new manager Patrick Vieira, who has surprised me. And obviously, they drew 3-3 away to Burnley last week, which is actually a good result because Burnley have been tough to beat recently. And for Aston Villa, they managed to arrest the slump they were in, having lost 5 games in a row, which is shocking at this level. But it looks like they've got some confidence back. And going to this one, it'll be a 1-1 draw. Next game up is Liverpool and Southampton. This will be a 3-0 win to Liverpool. Next game up is Brighton and Leeds. This is another tough game to call. Either side could win it. Brighton have been very disappointing recently. It looks like some of the old problems that they've had in previous seasons are coming back. They're really struggling to score goals. They are really struggling. Creating chances isn't something that they're really managing to do. I'm not quite sure if they have the players that can really play at this level. I know that, in previous seasons, they've had players like, Mope, Gross, Trossard, which I don't really think he's good enough. Obviously, he looks good on the ball, but you need more than that. You need end product, which he doesn't seem to have. And apart from those players, obviously defensively they're very good, but Brighton have been in the Premier League for 5 seasons now, more than that, so they should be doing a lot better. And for Leeds, they've looked better in recent weeks, although that's not really saying much because they were terrible early on the season, just really struggling defensively. And obviously, because they set such high standards last season, it was always going to be hard to meet them. But I think this will be a 2-0 win to Leeds. Next game up is Brentford and Everton. This will be a 2-0 win to Brentford. Next game up is Burnley and Tottenham. This is another big game for both sides. For Burnley, they've looked really good recently. They're scoring goals, although defensively there are question marks. But having said that, they're getting results, so you can't really argue with that. And for Tottenham, they managed to get their first win under Antonio Conte against Leeds, which they struggled massively with. They really couldn't seem to handle a struggling Leeds side that will most likely be fighting relegation this season. But I think this will be a 2-1 win to Burnley. Next game up is Leicester and Watford. This game could go either way. Leicester have been really all over the place this season. They just got hammered 3-0 by Chelsea at home, which is something we've seen before. Leicester did get beaten 2-0 at home by Arsenal, so, a similar result, and we saw similar themes from both games. Leicester don't seem to be able to handle set pieces and corners. For some reason, they are struggling in the air defensively, and that's something that needs addressing. And for Watford, obviously, they're on a high from beating Manchester United 4-1 at home. A very good result. And obviously, the performance was outstanding. Very, very good. Something which surprised me because I would have thought that United would have been the better side, but Watford were the best side in both halves. Although United did come back a bit in the second half and had a spell where they should have scored 1 or 2 goals. But obviously, if you don't take your chances, you're not going to score. And there's no excuses. At this stage of the season, you can't really say that, fitness or, something like that is an issue. There are games to be played, and you need to deliver. This will be a 1-1 draw. Next game up is Man City and West Ham. This will be a 2-0 win to Man City. And the last game for the week is Chelsea and Manchester United. Obviously, with teams like Man United, the cards are, obviously, you never really know which United side is going to turn up. So, United could show up and win this game, or they could lose and probably be hammered. So, we'll have to wait and see. And for Chelsea, obviously, they are the league leaders, so they are the team to beat. They're dangerous, defensively exceptional. So, if United get anything out of this game, that will be a good result. But I think this will be a 1-0 win to Chelsea. And that's about it.